I'm your friendly neighborhood Web-Warrior Fanatic, and I was just scrolling on Instagram today, and Fantasy Flight Games posted on their Instagram page two new cards for the Echo Hero. They just previewed two new cards for us, dropping it on their social media. And I know a lot of you guys tell me that you guys do not follow Fantasy Flight Games on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys the cards here. Let's just go ahead and play the video right here. So we got like the epic hype music. This was posted like 1 hour ago right here. You guys can see that. It's got all the villains. It's got my Lopez here. And then they showed these two cards right here. They flip everything over. And I'm just shocked that they are previewing these cards for us. So I have Echo's Katana here as the first card. Crazy upgrade. And we also got Muscle Memory here. So two identity-specific upgrades for Echo that just got previewed on Instagram. That's crazy. So I took a screenshot of both of them here. Let's take a look at both of these cards. So the first one is Echo's Katana. It's a 2-cost upgrade. It's restricted. It has the weapon trait right there. So as a hero response attack, after you play any event, you exhaust Echo's Katana, and you can do damage to an enemy equal to that event's printed cost, and the attack will have piercing. So a lot of people talked about how potentially with Echo, you want to play like low cost events, like 0-cost events, 1-cost events, so you can spam it. But I think maybe this will incentivize playing more expensive events because you actually get a lot more value from the event cost whenever you are triggering this as a response. I think for this card here, it's very similar to Hone Technique, but I would prefer this to be an interrupt. I think that would be much better. Because if I'm playing like an attack event, right? This is for any event, so that's very nice with it. But if it's an attack event, like let's say I'm playing like a Haymaker, well, I want piercing first if I'm attacking like the villain, right? So if this was an interrupt to pierce off the villain's tough and then have the Haymaker do 3 damage to the villain, that would probably be a better version of the card, but then it's balanced like this and it can still be a lot of fun, right? So the way that's worded right now is if you have like an enemy, only one enemy with tough, you have to play the event first, and if it's an attack event, then you waste it just attacking that tough, and then you'll be able to do damage equal to the event's printed cost, and then that attack will have piercing. So for this card right here, I think it's probably better most of the time to be playing events that aren't attack events to trigger the katana right here, unless you're facing two different enemies, right? If you have like 2 minions, one has a tough, one does not have a tough, then you can play an attack event, kill the one that does not have the tough, and then the one that has a tough, you can do piercing with the katana after that attack because it's a response going after your actual event. But yeah, if it was interrupt, I think it would be better. I think it's still a cool card right here. Probably going to be a lot of fun with like Thor events and stuff like that. So it says here, after you play an event, exhaust katana. I have Echo's cards put up here. Let's make sure we got this right. How does this work? So photographic reflexes. If you're in hero form, you can discard this card from your hand, and you play an event tucked under Echo as if in your hand. So you're still playing the event. So with the wording from that, you reduce the cost to play the event by 2. You cannot trigger Echo's watch and learn ability for the event. Yeah. So whenever you are playing an event through photographic reflexes, it's still considered as Echo playing the event. So you are able to trigger the katana from the photographic reflexes right here, that event through that. It doesn't have to be like a straight up event that you're playing like actually from your hand, because it's as if you're in your hand. So I'm glad that that works with that. This is definitely good consistent damage every single turn. I think this is very high tempo damage. Echo does seem to be a very high tempo hero, and then this will help facilitate her doing damage every single turn. So, but also kind of like, it's a little bit of anti-synergy though with her improvisation upgrade right here that we've seen, because this card does not have to exhaust the trigger. So this one really promotes playing a bunch of like cheap events, because then you can proc every single time. Hero response after you play any event, if it has the following traits: attack event, heal damage; defense event, remove threat; Thor event, you could deal damage to enemy. So this one, you want to play a bunch of events, and then you can just stack them all. For the katanas here, they exhaust, so you can usually only use it one time per round, because they will get exhausted. So if you're doing, yeah, so you might want to build into this or build into this. I think it might be more fun to build into the katanas here and just play like a big event and be able to have that event have piercing. Another cool thing about this card though is after you play an event, you can exhaust katana. So this actually works during the villain phase, right? If you're playing events like a defense event or any type of event that's a response or interrupt in the villain phase, after you play it, you can still exhaust katana and do damage to enemy equal to the event's printed cost, and the attack by piercing. So you can do a piercing hit during the villain phase if you can play that event during the villain phase, which is pretty cool. And like we talked about before, you can use photograph reflexes during the villain phase as well to play like a defense event that's tucked under Echo, and then also trigger the katana off of that. So I think that might be like the most unique and fun mechanics with the katana there. Yeah, definitely a cool kit that adds a lot more damage to her. But I think if I'm playing with this event here, I definitely want to play non-attack events to be able to get the piercing on the initial hit with that. I also like that for this, you can do damage to any enemy. So it doesn't have to be like the enemy that you're attacking if you are playing attack event to hit like 2 enemies. And it is an attack here with attack right there. So you are going to, if you're stunned, that will remove the stun stats and this won't be able to go through. And stuff that activates with attacks will activate with this. And it's a weapon upgrade, so you can exhaust this for stuff like firepower and all of that. So yeah, very cool card here. Let's look at the other card, which is Muscle Memory. So another identity specific upgrade. So what we've seen from her kit so far, let's look at her cards. I think we've only seen upgrades and events, right? Well, of course, the Daredevil ally, but a bunch of events here and then upgrades. So we haven't seen much other than that. I'm so interested to see what the support is, and we're still missing the number 38 card in her kit. So you guys can see here, this is number 37A, 37B, and then the Daredevil card is 39. So we still don't know what number 38 is yet. And I thought from the Instagram video here that they would flip the 38 card. Like I thought the katana was the 38 card, but it's not. It's another number card. Let's look at the number again here. It is the number 45 card here. So in Fear and Evil. Okay, let's look at the Muscle Memory card. What does this do? So this one is a 2-cost upgrade. Okay, same as the katanas. Muscle Memory is a skill. As a hero action, exhaust this card. Add an event tucked under Echo to your hand. I'm not a big fan of the art here, but the other art was cool though. On the katana has pretty cool art. Okay, I absorb an arsenal of actions, so when I need to, I can perform them with the same precision. Echo. Okay, that kind of explains her hero ability here for everyone that doesn't know like what Echo does and how she operates. So hero action, exhaust a card. So you do it during the player phase. Then you can add any event tucked under Echo to your hand. Okay. Okay, I think that this card here will help round out her kit, right? Because you get to add an economy card, right? Add a card to your hand that you can either play or use as a resource. So effectively getting a card to your hand is always going to be good. What I really want to see though, and I talked about this a few times, but I really hope that we get a card that allows Echo to tuck a card, like an event, either from your hand or your discard power or something like that, underneath Echo. Because so far, for everything that we've seen, the only way for Echo to tuck cards under her is after a player or herself, plays an aspect for a basic event. That's the only way. Her hero ability is the only way to tuck cards underneath Echo from what we've seen so far. So hopefully that number 38 card allows her to tuck some other way, or we see another card in her kit that allows her to do that. But let's look at Muscle Memory here. So yeah, I think this card is pretty simple. It's going to help round her kit, right? Not anything crazy with it, just getting that event. So if you play an event, you can tuck it underneath Echo, and then if you have the photograph reflexes, then I think this is better because then you play the event as if you're in your hand, and then yeah. Or if you don't have this card and you still really want that event, you can muscle memory it back to your hand to play it. I think the best use for muscle memory is not going to be actually to ever play the event, because I think we almost always want to photographic reflex the event if we already have it tucked under Echo. So I think this card here is going to be mostly just be used as getting a card to your hand to be used as a resource for like extra economy. That's what I personally think, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or not with that. I think it's going to be good for just grabbing another card. And if you're really stuck with nothing to play, then of course you can play that event. But I feel like for me, if I play this card, it's usually going to be used to dish a card back over to my hand from one of those tuck cards that are underneath Echo. So let's look at the numbers here. So we have 15 out of 15 here. We have her katana, which is her 13th card out of the 15 ident specific cards. I think are we still missing 14? Let's see here. No, this is 14. So we know 13, 14, and 15 are all those upgrades. We know 11 is another upgrade here. So we don't know what 12 is. We haven't seen 12 out of 15. And then Study the Tape here is 8 out of 15, but we don't know. It could possibly be 2 or 3 copies, so it could be 8, 9, and 10. I think there's probably going to be 3 copies of this card, to be honest. So I think that we basically, do we know almost her entire kit? So Daredevil is 1 out of 15. And then we know we have 6 copies of this card here, because the article tells us we have 6 copies. So this goes all to 7 out of 15. Geez, I think we know her entire kit, basically. We're missing 1 card. I think we know everything in her kit If we have 3 copies of this, we know we got 1 copy of Daredevil, 6 of this, possibly 3 of this, we don't know for a fact. And then, yeah, that's crazy that on social media, guys, they preview these 2 cards, and now we basically know every single card in your kit, other than potentially 1, the 12 out of 15 card, but the card that's after American Sign Language. But also, we don't know that number 38 card as well. So, yeah, yeah, that is it here, guys. Just a short video, just showing you guys the cards here. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of these cards? Pretty insane. And what do you think about Fantasy Flight Games like dropping like a random like short here on Instagram and like Facebook to like preview 2 new cards for a new hero in Fear and Evil? That's crazy. That is I'm shocked that they are introducing cards this way, because they introduced new art for the Typhoid Mare scenario and kind of like gave us some like spoilers for like how she's gonna play, and I did a preview, you know, covering that. But this is like a way bigger deal, right? This is actual new cards for a hero, identity specific cards. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm kind of hyped that they're kind of doing this, and it's like we don't really know when it's gonna happen. It's not like a big preview article, it's just kind of like dropping cards, but very cool to see. Okay, yeah, so that is it here. We're just showcasing Echo's katana and her muscle memory. Let me know, guys, what you guys think about these cards, and what do you think about Fantasy Flight Games previewing cards like this, just like randomly dropping them like on social media. Pretty crazy, guys. I hope you guys all like this one, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.